Hello everyone, this is me, Games99, aka No-Brainer, and welcome to Hexarchy, a Civilization 4X style game, but with cards and deck building mechanics. Instead of the, menu-based, I want to build a scout, so I'm gonna, press the build scout button. It's, I have a card called scout, so I can play it, and that will build me a scout. Yes. This game is... When we say a deck building game, we aren't talking about a game like Magic the Gathering or Hearthstone where you build a deck and you bring the deck to the game. We're instead talking about a game where the deck is built as you go. Something more like Dominion or Doom Imperium or Clank, if you've played any of those games, is got a very much a board game sort of feel to it, and Hexarchy very much has a board game feel to it as well. This is a game that definitely takes heavy inspiration from a game like Civilization, but it is designed to be, well, based around the cards mechanics as well, but also is designed to be more of a 30-minute sort of affair. Compared to Civilization's, potentially multi-day spanning affair. This game is supposed to be like won and lost in 30 minutes, about, 12 or 14 so turns. I can do 10 turns right now. I've been playing this game a lot, and I really enjoy this game, and it is finally released today. I played a lot in the playtesting sessions that happened. There was even a playtesting tournament that you can find on the channel, although sound quality is maybe not the best on that one. But Hexarchy, I really like this game. It's got online play, of course, and that's what I like. I like playing tournaments. I like winning. I like competitions. But it feels a lot more like a competitive puzzling sort of game than maybe more of your traditional sort of 4X style. The cards add a lot of puzzles to it. Now, I wanted to make a bunch of advanced tutorials for this game, but I figured I should probably make more of a basic one first. I'm not sure I'd be the best at it, but I should probably give it a go, at least so people actually know what this game is and what I'm talking about, instead of just jumping straight onto the advanced stuff, because well, we'll see what the player base is like. But let's just load into a game right now. We've got these civs. We don't have a ton, but we have some. We have Greece, France, Russia, Egypt, Rome, England, Aztecs, China, Persia, and Arabia. So definitely some notable exceptions here that are missing. Hopefully we'll get those in future updates or DLCs or something. I don't know how things are going. We're just gonna click Arabia. We're just gonna open a map, and we're just gonna show and start explaining some of the basic mechanics, because that's what I want to get through in this video. I want to explain the basic mechanics and give you a foundation to build off, whilst also describing my thoughts of the game itself. So in this game, you have cities, you have population. Those population work tiles. If you've played Civilization, this is going to make a lot of sense to you. I'm going to be comparing everything to Civilization style games. So there we go. But I get some cards. Look at this. I've got woodworking, writing, trade hub, scout, and my special found capital city button, which is kind of very important, because without this card I could not actually play the game. So first of all, I'm going to go ahead and open the view that lets me see all the resources, the resource view. There we go. So you can see here we've got a bunch of tiles, we've got food, we've got money, we've got production. So production lets you play cards. So, trade hub, it costs 1 production to play. It is a hammer. Scout is 2 hammers. And then you've got writing, for example, which is a tech, and that costs either hammers or science. I should probably explain the other ones first. So you've got hammers, you've got food. Food grows your population, grows your cities, and gold can be used both to build wonders and to draw extra cards in this bottom corner here. So we're going to press found here, and it recommends here or here. Now, there is this special holy site that we've managed to find in this opening. Holy sites, I'm going to snooze that. Holy sites claim surrounding hexes. When claimed, they produce happiness, they produce culture, they produce victory points. I'll explain all this. I'm going to found next to the holy site, because that is generally the best choice here. Founding on this hood is probably the best, but regardless. Okay, so the interface. All right, so we have this brown border. That's my territory right now. So typically I would just get the tiles adjacent to Mecca, my city here, but because of the holy site, I also got these 3 tiles here, these 3 tiles as well. So that's what my border is right now. I have a default 4 production on the main capital city because it has this extra palace building. It has the Mecca, that's the name of it. It has a road on it, which doesn't matter until you research roads, and then it has the palace. The palace produces 4 production, 1 extra gold, 1 extra culture, and 1 extra happiness. Now, food, you can see here that it takes 1 food for me to grow and get a second population. My population here is currently working this tile, getting me 1 food and 2 money. Ideally here, if I hover over this, we can see that Mecca makes me 5 money, and that's 2 money there, 3rd money here. Where's the rest of the money? The palace produces 1, so that's 4. Do I just have 1 in general? I've never actually tried to make the number match, but at any rate, Mecca's making me 5. Oh, that's, of course, I'm Arabia. If I go into the tech tree here, we can see my Arabia bonus. I get +2 money and +2 culture on holy sites. So my Mecca is actually producing, so I'm actually getting 3 from these tiles, and then 2 extra because I own a holy site. That's right, there we go. And yeah, we've got a tech tree here. Let me just give you a quick glance here. So we've got the ancient era, the classical era, the medieval era, and the Renaissance era. We end at gunpowder in this game. Gunpowder, currency, advanced tactics. That is one thing that's quite different compared to most civ-likes. So a lot of civ-likes, they end at the modern era, or they end at the spacefaring future sci-fi era. This game currently only ends at gunpowder era. Because again, it's designed to be quick. It's designed to be a shorter game. Having more advanced technologies, you probably not get to them all. That said, I would love if there was like another tech down each path, so there'd be like 1 more tech here and there'd be 1 more tech here. Just two little techs is more in the Renaissance era, please. Thank you very much. That's my money, where my money's coming from. I'm also getting 3 food tiles. I'm getting 4 hammers. And I have up here my score at the top left here. So I have up here the 11 points here. And I'm getting that from this breakdown. I'm getting, each hex is worth half a point. So I have 10 hexes, so I'm getting 2 of those. Population, I have 1 pop, so I'm getting 1 point here, and 5 points for owning a holy site. So I have 11 here. 100 points is the maximum. First person to 100 wins the game. Well, okay, not the first person, but once someone gets to 100 points, the game will end after that turn, and then whoever has the most wins. So, like, you can have a bunch of people get to 100 on their same turn, and yeah, whoever's got the highest wins. So you win the game by having territory, by having people, by having holy sites, by having wonders. Each wonder produces 4. So let me just go to a random wonder here, like the Great Lighthouse. At a base level, I should say, each wonder produces 4. So this Great Lighthouse would produce me 4 victory points, and also happiness. There is the first happiness is interesting. So for each person, you reduce the happiness by 1. Now, Mecca starts with +2 happiness. It has +1 happiness from its palace and +1 happiness from its holy sites. Other cities do not have this happiness bonus of the palace, so the capital can grow a bit better than others. Now, when your happiness goes above the gauge, so I'm going above 4 here, if I just ended the turn, it would do a roll. And the first time, it's a 50% chance to get a We Love You bonus, which is +1 victory point. The next time, it's 25%, I believe. And then anything after that is somewhere between like 20 and 10%. It's like, it's a curve, right? It starts at 50%, then it goes 25%, then it sort of flat lines a bit, going from between 20 and 10%-ish per happiness point over. So happiness can also, so if you've got a lot of cities, you have a lot of territory, you can potentially make a lot of population, you can potentially make a lot of happiness to make a lot of points, and so on and so forth. They expand to get points. Units also give points, 1 point per unit you own. Why? Because most units cost population in this game. That is one big deviation from Civ, is that units cost population to build. In most Civ games, settlers cost population, but the rest don't. In this game, every unit costs population, except scouts. Scouts are specific. They don't cost population because they are not fighters. They can't claim, they can't capture. They can attack, but they have a 1 fighting power. The warrior has 4. The lowest level unit, the warrior here, has 4. This is, by the way, my deck currently. The warrior has 4. The settler has 1 as well. Founds new cities. They could do food instead. Yeah. So each civ also has a special card that they start with, a special passive bonus. So this is my passive bonus. This is the card the extra card. And then they also have an extra unit. So I, in the classical era, can unlock the Mamluk, which is unique because he builds with money rather than hammers, rather than production. The trade hub has resources of the market. I'll quickly explain the market. So in the trade section, you have these price trends, and you can buy and sell resources that you get on the map within players. I will actually do that right now. Let me just go boop. There we go. So I use the trade hub, which is a special array which adds a bunch of extra stuff to the market, and I have a bunch of stuff that I can now buy. And if you buy stuff, the price goes up, and as you sell stuff, the price goes down. This is a global thing shared with all players in the group. So when you sell something, on the next turn, it'll be available to buy by someone else in the market. And that way you've got sort of like more of a living economy sort of style. Okay, so I talked about that. Let's talk about science, because I didn't explain science. So science, you have here the burn button. So burning a card gives 2 hammers and 1 science the first time you burn a card per turn. Burn, exile, delete, remove, it's gone from the deck, it's gone from the game, and that's how you make your science, because you get 1 per turn provided you burn stuff. In fact, I don't want to burn scout because I want to show off the map and the units a bit more. So let me just draw into another card to burn. I don't want to burn my tech. This is annoying. Okay, so let me do something a little bit more advanced here. Let me explain tech. So tech can be built with either production or science. A level 1 tech requires 2 production, 1 science. So these are level 1s. These are also level 1s in the classical era. So this ancient and early classical are require 2 hammers or 1 science. Then you get into the early medieval, where they require 2. Early medieval, requires 2, so everything down this section requires 2. Then you get to late medieval, which everything requires 3 science or 6 hammers. And then finally level 4, in the Renaissance era, 8 hammers, 4 science. You get 1 science per turn from burning, but you also get extra science from stuff like the library. So the library, for example, produces science and culture and can be built in a city. It costs me 4 hammers or 1 stone. Speaking of stone, we can look at some of the strategic resources. So I have here grasslands, which produces 3 food, but also produces the food resource here. And the food resource, this is kind of cool. I'll do that in a second. First of all, let me go ahead and do something slightly advanced here, because you can go with the tech and you can click up here and you can see what the cards are. So what happens here, when you research a technology, you get to pick one of the cards to add to your hand and the rest add to your discard pile. When you run out of cards, your discard pile is shuffled into your deck and then you keep drawing. So on the next go around, I'll get the other 3 cards, but for now I'll only get 1. In fact, let's not do writing, let's do woodworking, because I'm just going to burn immediately this lumber mill, because there's not a forest nearby. There's a forest all the way over here, but there's not a forest in my immediate area, so I will burn this lumber mill. So I will pick this this lumber mill, and I will immediately burn it, and that gets me 2 hammers, 1 science, which lets me then research something else. I'm also going to go ahead and build this scout. So scouts have a massive vision range, and they can move very far. They can move over difficult terrain pretty easy as well. Difficult terrain are things like hills. Hills reduce the movement of units. Forests reduce the movement of units. But scouts can move over those pretty well. So you can see here, a scout has about 5 movement here. It's got a vision radius of 5 at least, we can say. No, 6. It can move 6. It's got a vision radius of 6 because it can go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There we go. One annoying thing about this game is that it doesn't actually tell me the stats of movement and vision and stuff like that. That's something I'd like, but that's all in the wiki. Yeah. So I've got my scout, and I can use him to scout around. Scouts also have this special gather resource button where if they're standing over the top of something, they can harvest the resource and pull it back rather than having to build a special building for it. I've got this hut here as well, which gives a random bonus when you moves onto the hex. So I could instead move onto the hut with the scout, and I will do that later. For now, though, my scout has summoning sickness. All units start asleep. They all start fatigued, asleep, summoning sickness. It says spawned this turn. I don't think there's a keyword for it. But there is a tech that allows you to go otherwise. Mobilize allows a unit that was built this turn to be given orders this turn. That's a special thing that costs 3 hammers or 1 horse. Horses are very helpful. I don't have any in the nearby. In fact, the only thing I have in my territory right now is this iron, which requires me to get a mine, which is down in the mining section. But I don't have mining in my hand. That is unfortunate for this demonstration. Mining will be one of the 6 cards remaining in my deck. So for now, I am just going to research. I've only got 1 hammer as well. Yeah, what do I want here? I can just do this a bunch and just take a look at all of them if I've not memorized the tree. You can see here the science going down. Hunter-gatherers is an interesting one. You know what? I can also click my science and I can sell it for gold. So I could sell my science for 3 gold and buy something in here. So food lets you put extra food into the city and grow it. And in fact, for the sake of this demonstration, I'm going to do that right now. So I'll buy, and I've bought 2 food here, and I can click on the food and I can press and boom, there we go. My food, my population just grew, and see, now I have a second population guy and he is harvesting this tile. Cool, right? So one thing I will say, it's got 3 culture, 2 money, 2 food. It actually, if you hover over it, it only yields 2 food from a settler, from a pop, because the 2 money and the 3 culture are things that are just passively generated by this structure from being within range of mecha, because I have this holy site gives +2 food, plus two money, +2 culture. That's just a passive thing I get for it. It's not stuff that requires me to harvest the tile for the yield. But yeah, so now I have 1 gold, 1 food left. It's going to take me 6 food to grow to the next person, and I have 3 food at the moment. And I can't do anything else with my turn, so I'm going to go ahead and press the end turn button. There we go. My city grew slightly on the tiles because I have culture. So let me go to the culture view here. So I am generating a lot of extra culture. If I go back to the I'm getting 3 culture here, 1 culture here, so I'm getting 4 culture per turn. It costs 3 to grow to the next tile. Right. So culture grows the cities, and of course culture then causes more hexes, which causes more points as well. So you can also do a culture game. I'm going to go ahead and just move this scout 1 onto this tile. Ooh, I got a free axeman. So an axeman is in the masonry tree. He has 8 strength. So I'll be using him to scout and things for future. Okay, I drew my firewood. Firewood is a card that does literally nothing, but it is here just to be burnt. So there we go. I got 1 science, 2 hammers. Now, something a little extra. Some players who know this kind of game, they know that they're already like, whoa, what is this? Burning for hammers and science? What is this? Because in most of these kinds of games, these deck building games, it costs resources to burn a card in most games. In this game, however, I get resources for burning a card. I'm going to burn this strength card, and I'm going to get 1 extra hammer. That blew my mind when I was playing this game, because that is not typical of games of this genre, is to get hammers, is to gain things for burning cards. Because typically in deck builders, you want to have a small deck in order to more consistently draw what you want to draw, right? And similarly in this game, you do want to have a smaller deck. But you actually get bonuses for burning the cards. So this game isn't... So what this game really is it's an optimization puzzler, really, when you think about it. It's how many cards can you burn and get away with on that turn. Like, there are times where I will burn some of the most basic techs. I will just be like, I'm burning animal husbandry because I don't have any horses, pigs, cows nearby. I don't need the pasture, and I think I can win without going down any of this tech tree. I think I can win without feudalism. I'm just going to ignore the entire tech tree. And yeah, that's a risky move, but risks are a natural part of this game, because remember, it is a race. It is the first to 100 points win this game. I said that this game can be won in 12 to 14 turns. I have won this game in 10 turns. Yeah, you got a race. This is a race game. A race to the objective here. So I'm going to go ahead and build a settler to found a second city. Founding cities, of course, they give you borders. They give you extra territory. They also give you population. Because it is cheaper to go from 1 to 2 than it is to go from 2 to 3, and so on and so forth. Mecca probably will stall out around 4 or 5 population. So you need to be going and building more cities to get more population and more territory, more points. The more population you have, the more culture you're getting, yada, yada, yada. Everything sort of feeds into itself here. Currently I have 12 points because I have 11 hexes, 1 unit, 1 population, 1 fire on the holy site. The Axeman can capture stuff, it can fight, it is a proper unit. These two, even though they claim they are units on the card, they are not units. They do not count towards the victory points. I've also got my mining here, so I will go mining, and I will grab this mine, which will let me start using iron. Now then, strategic resources. So we have food. We have luxuries. Luxuries give happiness. In fact, you can see how the bar is full. I'm going to go ahead and I'm just going to place that there, and I'm going to get myself another food. My city grew, so I also got a bit of a culture bump here. We can see that we're stored 2 instead of storing 1. Yeah. So anyway, resources. So we've got food, which gives me points up here. We've got luxuries, which are the same thing but with happiness. One of the things you can do in the end game is, if you have a ton of luxuries, throw them all into one city to try and get those we love you bonuses that I've mentioned before, and hopefully we'll be able to show off in this video. We also have strategics. We have stone, we have marble, we have horses, we have iron. So stone and marble are used for buildings, and they are used for wonders. So like this wonder, for example, the pyramids, costs 6 hammers and 5 gold, or 2 hammers and 2 stone, right? So you can get them cheaper if you have the strategic resource. Similarly, if we go down here, we've got like Parthenon, philosophy, costs 3 hammers or 2 marble. Produces 3 culture, produces 4 victory points. You can always view the top 3 cards of your deck. So you'll know what you're getting when you press the draw card button, which of course costs that 2 gold, if you remember. You also have iron. Iron is mainly used a little later on. It can be used in the metalworking, for example, for the swordsman, 5 hammers or 1 iron. Iron is very useful for more of a fighting strategy. You've got the spearman, which also costs an iron. This jeweler, which produces a luxury every turn, also costs iron or marble. The final elite tier siege unit, the cannon, costs 2 iron. The knight costs an iron and a horse. Horses are very, very valuable because they are used for charge and they are used for mobilization. We will talk about those a little later in the combat section. For now, though, I believe I finished my turn. My guy is auto-producing on hammers to 3 hammers. Do I instead want to move him to food so that this is going to grow in an extra turn? Not particularly, because I am wanting to spam out settlers here, and because settlers cost a pop to build, there's not much point going from 2 pop to 3 pop, so that I can then build a settler and go back down to 2 pop. It's just going to cost me more food in general. It's just not efficient to build units out of bigger cities in that sense. So yeah, I will keep it on the suggested 3. You can see here now I'm getting 7 hammers. AIs will take their turn. It's worth noting that in this game, it is built from the ground up to support simultaneous multiplayer. So the idea is that everyone is going to move at the same time, and they're going to press the end turn button, and things are going to happen. So like, I'm going to click the scout, and I'm going to move him over to this stone over here. It's going to take effect immediately because I'm in single player. But if I'm in multiplayer, I do that, and then it's going to and then at the end of the turn, when I press the end turn button, he'll move. That said, that was probably a mistake. This scout has 3 power to this scout's 1 power. He used a promotion card, Strength, which is the card I burnt, in order to have 3 power to my 1 power, so he's probably going to kill my scout. So that might not have been the smartest choice. I'm going to move my axeman over to here, and my settler is probably going to go over here as well. He's protected by my axeman. The way units fight, I believe, is high to low. So the 3 will hit the 8 and the 3 will die, leaving my 1 strength settler perfectly safe. Now notice I couldn't attack the scout this turn. That is because the combat in this game is a little bit unusual. So this is probably one of my big criticisms of the game, actually, is how they handle combat. You move up, and then on the next turn you can attack anything that's adjacent to you. You don't get to move and attack in the same turn, even if they're only like one extra tile away. However, there was that charge card I talked about earlier, which costs 3 hammers and 3 money. Charge, specifically, it's over here, there we go. And you can always view, by the way, the cards that are destroyed, the cards that have been burnt. Charge over here costs 3 hammers, 3 money, or a horse, and it allows a unit to attack immediately after moving. So it feels a little unusual, because instead of, hey, I get to move up and attack in some games, in this game you only get to do the move and then you attack on the next turn, unless you have the charge card. So that means certain attacks. So that means you have to spend more to get the turn advantage, the tempo advantage, we'll say, right? Like, if you know chess, tempo, like you're getting 2 actions in one. You're getting both the move and the attack on the same turn with charge. Of course, here I'm not intending to attack the scout. I'm intending to defend my settler as it moves forward, because I have this axeman here. Speaking of my hand, what do I have? I have this warehouse, which lets me build an extra per turn. You can usually only build 1 building per turn in a town. You can build as many improvements as you want. Mine is an improvement. It goes on a tile. In this case, it went on the iron. It could also go on the desert for 1 extra hammer. I wouldn't build it on a desert that has no resources on it. But in this case, I'm just gonna go ahead and burn this warehouse. And actually, I'm gonna burn the warrior as well, because I don't need warriors anymore. I've got this axeman. he's going to do everything for me. I don't need warriors. Now, Archer is a range unit, so archers can attack up to 2 tiles away with no retaliation. But I don't need this archer either, because, again, I'm ranged. I will build a settler, though. And now I have an extra settler. I have these 7 hammers left. I have this mine. I could play it. Not interested in playing it. But hammers will convert to gold at the end of turn. But remember, I can always press this button here or press Z, which is what I did, and draw cards if I have the gold for it. Worth noting as well, I have this axeman. He now costs me money to keep up. Yeah, so now I can research fishing. So fishing has the fishing huts, which lets me grab whale pearls and crabs from the sea. Also worth noting in this game, there is currently no naval units. This is a land game, no naval units. You will have no islands. It is impossible to go all the way out here. I'm not actually quite sure why these kinds of tiles exist right now. In the future, they're thinking of adding oceans and seas and, exploring that. For now, all land. I mean, I know I say, like, hey, they've got this extra stuff that they'd want to build. Look, this game is good as it is. It is feature complete as it is. These are expansionary ideas. This is a very small dev team. I believe there was a Yogscast, something like that. I think Yogscast are the publishers for this game. I can actually just check that real quick on the Steam store page. Yeah, publisher is Yogscast Games. So, yeah, small time. What they managed to build with this is great, in my opinion. Now I've got fishing here. So fishing can get me this economic civic, this fishing hut improvement, and this astronomy technology. Well, let's look at what that is. What is a civic? Civics are the gold cards here. So they kind of act like technology, but they are an endpoint. So Hunters Gatherers is an economic civic, and it gives me forage and woodsman. Forage lets me gather resources from a hex nearby my territory. So I could grab forage and then use it to grab this food or this stone or this marble, for example, or like this whales or this sheep, right? This wool, sorry, not sheep, this wool. Very powerful card. And then also Woodsman, which allows me to ignore terrain movement penalties on a unit that I play it on. So units have a amount of promotions they can have. Axeman has 0 right now. Okay. Maybe it's because it's a generated Axeman from a hut. But units, there's typically one, like this settler has 1 promotion slot. And whenever you do a battle with a unit, they get another promotion slot. So you can stack bonuses on the same person who's been fighting multiple times. There's also some civs like Rome, for example. They have their unique unit, the Legionnaire. He gets extra promotion slots to have more promotions. But you can only have 1 of the same promotion. Promotions generally come under the logistics tactics sections of the research tree. The big one being Expeditionary Force, which gives +8 power when outside your territory. Yeah, so I'm going to go ahead and research fishing here. Astronomy, actually, let me look at what astronomy gives here, right? Because astronomy gives me access to God King, the government civic. I didn't actually finish mentioning civics. Let me finish civics. Sorry. So Hunters Gatherers is an economic civic. You can only have 1 of each kind of civic in the game. If you research another one and take another one, the old cards from the previous one will be lost. But I mean, if you've burnt the cards underneath, then you're losing absolutely nothing. But so, as a Hunter Gatherer, I have Hunter Gatherer is an economic civic. There's also Agrarian Society as an economic civic, and then finally there is Industrialism as an economic civic. So these are mutually exclusive bonuses. You can, as I said, you can pick up Hunter Gatherers now, pick up Industrialism later. That's fine. It's just your cards from Hunter Gatherers will be gone, will be removed from your deck. You've got government civics, so you've got God King, the government civic. Secularism is religion, so you've got God King, which is government civic, military dictatorship, which is government civic, and hereditary rule, which is a government civic. And then you've got the religious civics, paganism, state religion, and secularism. Excuse me, sorry, my throat. So yeah, those are the mutually exclusive things. So what would God King give? God King would give me Divine Decree, which gives me +1 gold and happiness produced by the palace whenever I play the card. So, you know, you could have a deck where you've got Divine Decree and you're cycling through the deck a bunch and you're playing Divine Decree a whole bunch to make your palace really happy, make your capital really, really happy and produce a lot of gold. And the other one it gives is Divine Favor, which gives +3 strength and no maintenance to a unit for 3 turns. One very powerful thing about these abilities and these promotions, by the way, is that they can just be done. So you can like have a unit, you can send it out, you can have it be fighting, and then you can just put a card on it to save it, right? Like oh no, I'm in the middle of enemy territory, I'm all the way over here, I'm being attacked by a bunch of stuff. I can just then place a promotion on it. So that's force projection. That's what that is. So that's the idea of being able to have more over there. Being able to, instead of having to build another unit all the way over here and then move it all the way over there and like to continue the fight, I can just have the current guy continue the fight by putting Divine Decree on them. In order to, Divine Favor on them in order to give them more strength to keep fighting. Anyway, the whole point of that was that I wanted to look at what astronomy gives. So astronomy gives me the access to God King. It's one of the 2 requirements to education. Education is very good for secularism because universities are insane. 3 science. Astronomy also gives me access to Harbour and the Great Lighthouse. Harbour is very valuable if you're on the sea or you've just got, you know, some lake tiles or something. So Harbour is the reward for that. They get you immediate bonus resources, extra stuff inside the market each turn, and they produce 2 gold, all for the lower price of 2 hammer, which is exactly what I'm going to do, and I wanted to spend some time explaining that. So I'm going to go here. The other 2 cards, they have now entered the discard. I have now researched this. Fishing Hut and Hunters Gatherers are in the discard pile. Astronomy, boom, here we are. I've got the 4 options. I'm picking my harbour. I'm placing my harbour. Here we go. Now I immediately got 2 stone and 2 horses. And I think I might have got one more right. No, that came from the mine last turn, right? Yeah. However, I have 6 of 3. I can only carry up to 3 things. I can carry more, but I burnt my warehouse, which let me carry more stuff. So I'm going to have to spend these. Most likely, I'm going to sell these for gold. Let's just draw a couple more cards here. Trade Hub. If I want more stuff to appear on the market when I'm already oversaturated. Okay. Writing. So, I talked about this library before, right? I'm going to writing. I'd want to produce this library for stone, but oh no, I can't because Mecha can only build 1 building a turn. It could build more. But I burnt my warehouse. I burn the warehouse basically every single game. This is like one of the very few times this is going to bite me, and it's being very annoying right now in my tutorial that this is going to bite me, that I made the wrong choice on my warehouse. We are still going to research writing. Now, I'm just going to see what else I can get. Let's draw another card. Animal Husbandry. I have no cows or anything around, but I do have a horse. I can mobilize. See, I can allow a unit that's built this turn to be given orders this turn. I'm going to mobilize this settler. So this settler starts an extra turn early, and I'm going to send him over like here. Look at this settler is going here, and that means he'll be able to then found next turn. I've effectively sped up my founding by 1 turn. Nice. But yes, I will sell off the iron. It's a bit of it's a mid-game resource. I don't need it right now. I'll sell that off for the gold right now. Do I want to burn the mine? I'm going to be placing a settler here on the stone and the marble. I might be able to make use of a mine. So I will keep all the rest of these, and I will just end my turn. It's like 1 hammer remaining. Are you sure you don't want to play Trade Hub? I'm sure I don't want to play Trade Hub. I could have played it for the 3 gold, to be fair. Arabia's Trade Hub is a very good card. So yeah, he attacked. The Axeman took 3 damage. It's now at 5 health. Units will heal over time if they're by I think it's 2 strength per turn if they haven't been attacked that turn. So I will now settle this scout here. There we go. Now my Axeman can fortify to defend here. So Currently, because he is on a city hex, my Axeman has a 40% defense bonus. So if something attacks my Axeman will take 40% less damage. For example, another Axeman who has 8 strength, right? 8 strength against, with a 40% reduction, that's 5 strength. He'll still win. He'll still kill my Axeman. But if my Axeman had a bit more health, you know, he'd be better off. Now, the Axeman can also fortify. Fortifying gives you 10% defense, 10% extra defense, and causes zone of control. Zone of control is that if someone is adjacent to you, they cannot move away from you. You can see here that Moscow actually has this warrior defended here. He's only got 6% actually. Maybe 45 10%, but it's 46%. That's... okay, that math doesn't look like it adds up, but okay. Maybe it's not additive, maybe it's multiplicative or something. Okay, so you can see here, if I'm moving stuff, you can see this zone of control by this warrior. If I moved over here, I would not be able to then move out of that zone of control without using all of my movement. So I have this scout here. He could harvest this stone, but there's this goody hut that I found over here. So I'm going to go grab this other goody hut. The scout is getting great value. 3 resources. I got 3 gold and I got 6 food. Ooh. I will now settle this guy. So, taking another look at the points. I now have 27 hexes, which is 13 points. I have 4 population. I still have my 1 unit, 1 holy site, and a we love you point. Oh, I got a we love you point and didn't know it was from Mecca. Cool. So Mecca got... so you can see this golden heart. That means that they've had a we love you point. So Mecca managed to get a we love you as it grew last turn, and I did not notice that. Damascus is growing 3 food in 4. Medina, 3 food in 3. Let me actually just look at my stuff here. I've already got a scout. I don't think I'm going to need 2 this game. And construction, which will grab me architecture, granary, or fort. Masonry can grab me this pyramid, actually, and I've got 2 stone. I'm going to do that right now. So, how do you win the game? A lot of the time, you're building a lot of wonders in this game. You're probably wanting to win the game. Part of it is going to be building like 4 wonders. So pyramids lets me collect all land resources within 2 hexes. And you can see here I've got this hex boundary. So I can't collect iron twice, but I could go here for the wool. But more realistically, I've got this stone, marble, food, and stone tile here. And I can also collect my opponent's stuff, or if I take Athens. If they start collecting it, I won't be able to collect it, but I can collect the opponent's stuff right now. I'm going to build a pyramid right here on the border. It's going to be collecting me a ton of stone and other things, but not on the turn it was built. Still, that's pretty good. I could buy a science here. Generally speaking, you always want to buy a science. I've got a lot of gold. I'm going to go for... I'm just going to look, see what else I can get. Pastures. I do have some wool. I'll go ahead and do that. There we go. I'm exploiting all of my resources. So now I have luxuries. The whole point of that was that I wanted to show luxuries. So when I'm hovering over a luxury, I can see that I have a 49% chance to get a victory point. And I'll do so. Nope. Damn it. Got tails twice. I haven't actually explained the badness of happiness. So the badness of happiness is that this yield penalty. When your settlers get more unhappy, that yield penalty goes up, and at no happiness at all, it's not like your city's going to revolt, like in, say, Civ. Instead, the yield penalty is going to be 50%. So that means the population will be producing 50% less. Now that doesn't sound too bad, but then you think that each person eats food, and that at 50% yield, they will very unlikely be able to sustain themselves, and they will start starving. And that means that your population will start decreasing. And population is important because population builds units and things. Very important. Also, once you get into that bad happiness, it's difficult to come out of it. You need to do luxuries, or provide luxuries, provide enhancement in happiness improving buildings like the Colosseum over here, which generates happiness, 2 happiness, and also an additional 2 happiness per citizen who stays in the Colosseum. As you can work the city hex instead. It's not showing up here. Oh, I guess when you've got exactly 1 pop, you can't. Yeah. So I could put this guy inside Mecca and he would work the city hex. He wouldn't give me, he would give me 1 money. And that's it. I don't even know exactly why he's giving me that +1 money, but he'd give me +1 money. So not worth it compared to the 3 hammers over there. Yeah, currently everyone's growing, but I've got this 9 and I need to spend them, so I will build up Damascus by 1. Now I'll build up Medina by 1. But yeah, so this is it is a little different though, because in like a Civ game, well, in Civ 5, no, not Civ 5, Civ 6 maybe, Civ 4. Oh god, I don't know my Civs well enough. In many games, you will reach a point where your happiness stabilizes with your population, and you cannot. And if you produce more population, the happiness will go down, and then the yield will go down, and then the population will go down and make happiness go back up again. That happiness go back up again doesn't happen. You can death spiral your cities in this game. They will starve and they will start dying off, and you can't do anything about it unless you get some luxuries or some happiness producing buildings. They can death spiral. That is something to be aware of. That said, the game doesn't really last long enough for death spirals to be a big concern. However, conquering an enemy city immediately death spiral, immediately puts it to 0 population, and you've got to figure out some way of helping them. Now, it's a pity that there's this forest. So we've got 2 forests and a hill here, and that is really slowing down my ability to capture Athens, because otherwise I could potentially do a sneaky charge attack with my axemen onto Athens. As it stands, I can't, which is a shame. I only have 1 hammer left, so I think with that I will. I also have 5 inventory now. I forgot to. Yeah, I have a lot more inventory now because each city produces +1 inventory space. All right, I don't have anything else, so I will press again. Do I want to move this axeman into range of Athens? Actually, I do. I'll move him onto the hills just so that you can get a look at what Athens is. Athens is currently undefended. Potentially, I could go for something. I will end the turn here. I only have 1 hammer. I'm not going to spend my gold looking for something to spend this 1 hammer on. Okay, Athens built a warrior. They're defending. All right. You see a hill provides 20%, 25% defensive bonus. See, my axeman healed by 2. Okay, I got a luxury from the wool, but it immediately spent it automatically on Medina here and gave it a +1 happiness. That happens. There is automatic spending of luxuries if the happiness starts going down too much, if it recognizes that happiness is going down too much and is causing a yield penalty. Anything below 4 happiness causes a yield penalty in this game. So it will try to spend the luxury there. Automatically. I kind of wish there was a turn off of. Kind of wish I could turn that off because there are certain cities sometimes that I just want to let death spiral. Harbour. I don't have anyone else on the sea. I'm going to burn the harbour card. Fishing hut. I don't have any. The fishing hut will also provide me just +1 food, but like I don't have any. I'm not in range of whales or pearls or things. I'm going to burn the fishing hut as well for +1. Yeah. So my scout, he went onto that tile. He grabbed that thing. Let's just move him over here. Okay, I can see an archer has been produced by Rome. Interesting. Okay. So I have the Hunter-Gatherer Civic. If I want it, to get that woodsman. I don't have my charge card. It's currently in the discard pile. Now, I can get back that charge card by shuffling the deck and then starting to draw. I have a lot of gold. Arabia makes a decent amount of gold if they have a holy site. So I might be able to abuse that. I have the 3 food here, so I'm going to put 1 into here to cause this population to grow. I'm going to put 2 into here to cause this population to grow. So there we go. I've also got my 2 stone because of my pyramid and my 1 marble. The pyramid is generating me a lot of resources here. You know what? Actually, I might just go for this Hanging Gardens wonder off of this stone. Yeah. So Hanging Gardens will reduce the food requirement on cities. I wish I hadn't spent my food now because I just spent them to grow to 3, and now I'll get them here. Mecca is having a little bit of trouble growing. So the Hanging Gardens also produces 1 food on the tile. It's having a bit of trouble growing, but like, I'm not going to place a pastures on this cow because I already have the pyramid harvesting it. So I'll put it here. So now this is a 4 food spot. You can see Mecha only takes 4 food to grow now. It will reduce the amount required by a third. So 3 becomes 2, 6 becomes 4, 8 becomes 6. No, 8 would become 5. Or does it become 6? What's 1/3 of 8? Oh yes, it's not a number. It's like 2.8 something, which always rounds down. You always round down in this game, so that reduces 2 on Damascus to 6. Okay, so if my axeman attacked this warrior, 4 health, 40% defense. So my 7, 40% defense, that would do 4. That would kill this warrior if I could find my charge card. And I have 17 gold, so I'm going to shuffle my discard back into my deck, and I'm going to start drawing. I'm pressing Z to draw, and I'm going to start trying to find this card. There's my Mamluk. I can build those for gold. Okay, didn't find it, but I can sell some iron. And my hand is full. Okay, so if your hand is ever full, what you can do here is you can redraw, and it will discard your hand and draw back up to hand size. Now, what is hand size? Hand size starts at 5, and you get +1 hand size for every 5 population you have. So I have 8 population right now. I have 37 points, 8 from wonders. So if I press the redraw button here for 4 gold, production can also be turned into gold with this button, so it's going to auto do that. I actually want to sell this marble, so I don't spend my production here. So it will draw back up to 6 cards. And draw me 6 cards. There we go. So there's my charge for 1 hammer. There we go. Now, when I conquer Athens, do I want to just prove it that my 40% causes that? Am I certain that 40% of 7 is 4? Oh, let me just grab a calculator real quick. That would be a mistake. How can I not do this? 7 times 0.6 equals 4.2. Yeah, this will definitely kill. So I have set this guy to be charging. So it's up here. This is my charge. But abilities don't count as promotions. That's another big thing about the divine favor. This is an ability. You can just put this on someone, and you don't have. Doesn't take up a promotion slot. Anyway, so there we go. So I'll do this. I'll charge. Boom. 4 loses 3 health. There we go. I'm now on top of Athens. See, I don't take Athens this turn. I will take it on the next turn when I claim it. So my opponents have 1 turn to try and get my guy off of Athens. However, they have no other cities, so it'll be very difficult for them to get them off. Maybe this archer will like move forward and do its charge to attack my axeman. I doubt it. It's a possibility though, so I guess I will grab divine favor on this guy. It's effectively healing him for 3. There we go. At 6 strength, 40% defense. This early on, it's only turn 5. He should be fine. And their other settler is here. And if they don't settle with this settler, then they're dead. They're out of the game. And they probably won't settle on there because they're the AI, and the AI recognizes that, hey, being on top, settling on top of a strategic resource is not necessarily a good idea. They probably won't think they're going to die. Anyway, roads. Roads are an interesting card in this game. Roads reduce the unit supply and city maintenance costs, so I can hover over here, and I can see that Medina costs me 1, and Damascus costs me 2 gold. They'll be generating their gold and stuff, of course, but they'll be costing me gold as well because they are not connected via road to my capital. So I can do this road, and I can draw a road here. For 6 production, it'll create a road here, and roads have... it'll remove the fact that the hill is difficult terrain. I can also I can just start drawing. It'll cost me 4 hammers to get to Medina. It'll cost me 6 to get to Damascus, but Damascus goes over a hill. That's why. I could also draw it like this way around. That might be smarter actually, because okay, opponents can use roads too, but it will let me. it'll let me move things out of Damascus one tile easier rather than having to go through this forest, right? Because currently, if I build something in Damascus, it has to spend a turn going through the forest and then go up here. If I build the road like this, then it can go through the forest and come up this direction just fine. So I will do that. Can I get potentially... Yeah, I can even... Ooh, I can connect both with just 6. See, this is the trick of being smart with your snaking. So I can do this, and I can go up here, and then down, and then down, and then down, and I will have connected both with just one thing. Nice. And now, they will no longer cost me. It currently says they still cost me, but it won't cost me because I'll have connected them. Unless this blinking road needs to be within my territory. I don't think that's how that works. Again, this game kind of hides some of its mechanics. I have a money, I have a production, I can just buy something. You know what? I am going to just go ahead and buy this iron and this marble because keeping resources is just nice. It'll get me to a second marble next turn, which maybe I can use for another wonder. Okay, they did settle Sparta, so the AI will not die here. And look, the other guy, he's coming in. He didn't attack this round, but he's coming in. He's interested in taking Athens. Why does my guy only have 3 strength? What? Okay, he has 6 strength. I don't know what that was. So I could raise Athens to the ground, get some golden victory points. It's like 2 victory points and like 6 gold. It's not worth much. Or I can claim it. So I have 39 points right now because I have 30 hexes. Also, Medina and Damascus. Damascus is costing me 1 gold. Medina is now costing me 0. Okay. So it reduces the maintenance by 1. It doesn't remove the maintenance. Okay. I'm going to conquer Athens. You can see here, 2 gold was spent. They're starving by 1 food. They'll lose a citizen unless they get +1 food. And my score went up by 7. Nice. Any wonders that they might have had, I would take as well. By the way, I should mention as well for wonders, one thing I always hated about Civ games is that an opponent could take the wonder and you've wasted all your production that turn. Like, I could be building something, my opponent could be building something, and then you both press the end turn button, whoever won it wins it. That's not the case in this game. If 2 people build a wonder on the same turn, they both get the wonder. But if someone has built the wonder before you, then you can't build the wonder because only one of them is supposed to exist. But in the case of multiple people build the wonder, then multiple on the same turn, multiple people will get the wonder. I don't want you building that. I want you going there. So yeah, I've got this Sparta I would need to kill to take over Athens right now. This archer is at 4. This scout is at 3. I'm a little concerned Athens is going to get hit. Athens is currently starving. They have a tile yield of -6. They have a yield penalty of 6%. They're actually getting 40%. I was wrong. It doesn't go to 50%. It goes to 60%. All right. So you can see here that they are losing. That they are supposed to be getting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 food. They're actually getting 2. They're actually getting 1 food and 2 gold. So they are starving quite a bit here. But I can give them a food. There you go. They are not starving. They are now only at -1. I can also fix the problem here. I can buy some luxuries. It's going auto in there. I can sell a little bit of iron. We can see here, stone and horses are really cheap. Science is getting really expensive. People are buying science. Yeah, Catherine of Russia. Catherine the Great of Russia is selling gems. You can see here that she's got that there. It's costing me an extra 2 gold because they're far away from me. They live all the way up there. So I'll buy some gems, give that to Athens. Athens is now growing. That yield penalty is now only 20%. So we go there. Oh, there's this guy as well. I didn't see him on the Athens when I was doing my numbering. Okay, so I don't need the Agrarian Society. I already took an economic civ this game. My scout has seen pretty much everything there is to see down here. Let's go, probably not next to the warrior. Let's go over here. Oh, you can see Rome has a holy site as well, which is of course worth 5 points. Oh, that was a hut there. I didn't even see that. Wow, I'm getting so many huts on this map. Okay, well I've got a lot of food. Mecca, grow. Yes. I do really like this. It's just so satisfying to pick up stuff and then deploy it. Like, watch this. I'm going to do 2 food. It's very satisfying. Okay, anyway. I could do horseback riding for this. I'm not interested in horseback riding right now. I can do the Great Lighthouse, which is a wonder. Let's charge. Charge is a thing. I've already used my turn. This turn on this guy. He claimed a thing. Can I Divine Favor twice? I cannot Divine Favor him twice. That's right. Yes, you can only have one of the same thing. In this case, we'll go Divine Favor. I can build another Axeman. He costs a stone or 3 hammers. So I can hover over and I can do tab to swap between the 2, by the way, because I might want to be spending the 2 stone on the Great Lighthouse or something like that instead. I probably don't need any of this food right now. You can see Damascus. It is... So you can see here how this Damascus has 4 red lines over that. That means it's going -4 happiness. This guy's going to start death spiraling soon if I don't do something about it or have luxuries. But it is producing me a wool every turn. So it's not producing me quite so bad. Let's draw a card. Let's draw another card. I don't... In fact, you know what? I'm at Axeman tier. I probably don't need Mamluks. Another settler. Settlers get me stuff. This is kind of a small map, though. I'm running out of territory. Sparta's kind of claimed the good territory. I could go like here, perhaps, but I'm close to Russia with that. I'm not sure I want settlers. But that's the nice thing, right? Settlers, they're so important and integral to civilization-style games. Boop, gone. Yeah, I just got rid of my settler. Writing. This is a pretty low level. However, if you recall, I can spend marble on the wonders down here. So down here is where like the marble stuff is. There's also education's great library up here. Feudalism's Germany castle. So like marble can be late game, but the early game wonders for marble are down here. So Statue of Zeus under paganism is really good. Because that lets your military units start mobilized, as if I'd played the mobilized card on. Doesn't work with settlers, but it works with the military units. So this is where I might actually do that. So I'm going to go writing into mysticism, into paganism, into my Statue of Zeus. Just do a nice little chain there. Statue of Zeus produces me 1 extra hammer as well. So I'll do that there. So I'll be getting 1 extra hammer per turn. You see now I'm at 52 points. I'm halfway there to victory. And I can build... I'm going to build this great lighthouse as well with the 2 thing. Now, great lighthouses need to be built on the coast. And it provides 2 money and +1 money for each water hex worked within 2. So there is a water hex here being worked. There's also a water hex here being worked, but I'm too far away. Let's go ahead and the pyramids is grabbing the this guy, so I'll just put it directly underneath. There we go. So now that's producing an extra 1 gold. All right, so I've got this Axeman here, and he will start mobilized, right? So I'm going to build him in Damascus, and he's starting mobilized, so he can run to Sparta immediately. And this is where I'm showing you, like, maybe some of the other weird intricacies with the combat. Because now I can buy a horse. Put it on the Axeman. And in 1 turn, I have built a unit. I built a wonder to then build a unit to then charge the unit onto the Greeks, who have no way of responding because they've just placed that city. When you do this to people online, it can feel great, but it can also feel terrible to have this done to you online. And that's kind of one of my criticisms. Big criticisms of this game, honestly, is that certain things can just kind of come out of nowhere. And if you're not prepared for it. So like, this is like a term in, what was the term? It's this idea in like Dungeons and Dragons and like things like Dark Souls and stuff. The idea of like the unfun trap. So like for Dark Souls, there's this unit, this creature. It is a slime and it lives on the ceiling. And when you walk underneath it, it will just fall on top of you. And they have this in Dungeons and Dragons as well. So like if you had this in Dungeons and Dragons, Dark Souls got it from Dungeons and Dragons probably, or Dungeons and Dragons got it from somewhere, the same place Dark Souls got it from them, I guess. So like if you do that, it's really unfun because it happens to you once and then you just stare at ceilings for the rest of the game. right? Like, you actually just check his name for the rest of the game. It's one of those haha gotcha moments. And that can be sometimes what this game does. Like, if this was a player and they built Sparta and then they didn't build a unit inside Sparta, and then I just like, haha, got you, my Axeman just comes from nowhere, goes from Damascus to Sparta and conquers. That can be a bit unfun. However, this game is very quick. I'm going very slowly through this game, but it is a very quick game. Typically, whoa, I just looked at the time. This was supposed to be a fairly... I need to speed up a little. This game can go by quick, so you kind of need something to speed up, but I kind of wish if that was the case, then like maybe charge should just be something everyone can do all the time rather than be a special card. I mean, there are certain certain units, unique units, and also in feudalism there's Vanguard, which allows you to promote a unit so that it will always do a charge, basically. But yeah, I kind of wish that was the default almost. But yeah, attacking is good in this game. So I attacked the undefended Sparta from Damascus, basically speeding this guy up. So originally I'd build an Axeman, I'd spend some time, he'd go over here, and then from here he'd be adjacent to Sparta and I'd take it. And I just sped him up by 3 turns because I had this statue of Zeus to mobilize him, to then move the unit, to then have him charge over the top. Bit of an advanced play right there. Okay. Anything else I want to do? I've got this hammers. I've got no money. I could spend some of the hammers on gems. 4 gold for a gem is really bad, though, when I was buying 4 for 2s. Any farms? Anyone struggling for food? Actually, Mecca's struggling on food. Let's go ahead and build the farm here and then move this guy. So a farm produces 3 food yield and also produces 1 food strategic resource. Is there a better term for these? I'm not sure there's a better term for these. Oh yeah, there's the trade routes and there's supplies. Yeah, there's overlays. Anyway, so yeah, I have done that. Let's go ahead and end turn. I'm going so slowly through this game, by the way. Sorry. Like, I could do this game in. I could be here in like 10 minutes of where I've been for this. So my guy's shooting me. Okay. Warrior's here. Warrior is here. He didn't charge. I should have thought about that. I need to defend Medina like now. Whoops. Yep. Whoops. Okay. I don't need this pasture. This mine for the marble that I'm already collecting, I don't need that. Let's go ahead and actually let's trade hub. Let's see if I can get some science for this because I only have 1 science. There we go. I got another science. 5 gold. Okay, I'll buy the science. That lets me get metalworking, which then lets me spend my iron on this swordsman. Medina is now safe. Nice. And because of Statue of Zeus, I can even attack him straight up. Cool. There we go. Now this guy is getting pelted by the archer, and I don't have any way of helping him really right now. I have 15 production. I should really get stuff here. So roads, berserker lets me attack twice with a unit. Temple, okay. Spearman, okay, that's a defensive guy. I'm going to put him on Athens. There we go. And in fact, I'm going to tell this spearman to attack the archer. Aha! Scout, go view up here. Okay, there's Novgorod. There's Moscow. Okay, so, oh, I should take Sparta as well. Athens will then die at the end of the round. Again, I've got another place. They're very unhappy, but hey, the thing is, once Athens dead, once Greece is dead, all of their stuff goes onto the marketplace for very cheap. So I'll sell this food and I'll buy a lot of gems. And there we go. Now they're happier again. Okay, a temple produces happiness per holy site and also produces a happiness. We have a holy site in Mecca, so we'll build it there. And now Mecca has +4. So he's going to get potentially some of the happiness bonus that I talked about earlier, right? Yeah, cool. Let's keep drawing cards, because I have 15. Let's keep drawing. Let's start spending hammers on this. You know what? I'll sell some food. Keep my hammers, because I'm looking for a wonder right now. That's what I'm looking for. Philosophy, that can get me a wonder. The Parthenon, it costs me 12 production and 6 gold, but it also could cost me some marble, and I have some marble over here. I have some marble in the trade zone. So I could buy the marble and then build the Parthenon. There we go. It only cost me 2 marble, not 3. And there we go. I'll build a Parthenon. And you see turn 7, I'm going here. You see the acceleration that you can have in this game? With the strategics especially, with the pyramid. This is a very strong pyramid spot. Yeah, I am looking now to try and end this game. I have 5, because Athens so graciously donated me 2 cities, I have 5 cities here. I have 48 hexes for 24 victory points. I have 13 population, and I have 20 points on wonders so far. So I'm looking to end this game fairly soonish with my 5 cities. I control most of this map. It's a very small map, actually. Can't play the same ability in 1 turn, unfortunately. So I can't play Divine Decree on Mecha again. Currently, this palace is producing me 2 happiness per turn and 2 gold per turn. Yeah, do I need more food on anything? Sparta could grow, Damascus could grow, but it's got a bit of a happiness problem right now. Mecca's not got a happiness problem. Let's grow Mecca. There we go. Now I'm at 0, but I'm at 4. And I'm doing this in part because, you know, it's another population, which is another point, but also it's increasing my hand size. So now I have 14 population. If I get 15, which I will do from Damascus, I'll have a starting hand size of 7 instead of a hand size of 8 instead of a hand size of 7. Library is helpful, but I wish I'd found another wonder in here, which unfortunately I didn't. Yeah. Let's just build a library somewhere then. I'll build it in Sparta, I guess. Culture buildings, right? You typically want culture to not be in Mecca. See, if Mecca was to grow now, it would cost it 7 to grow up there. It costs Damascus 3 to grow a tile because the further away a tile is, the more it costs to grow. But also water tiles cost a lot to grow in general. But in Sparta, because it's a very small city, it's costing a much lesser amount of culture to grow. So that library which produces culture, I put in Sparta. That's the idea there. I can build another road, and I can connect Sparta. Can I connect Sparta and Athens here? I can. So currently they cost me 2 gold and 1 gold. So let's connect them like that. There we go. Sparta and Athens are now connected, and we'll see the gold difference in a bit. So this guy, we can send him to fight in Rome, sure. Oh, Rome has 2 holy sites. My mistake there. Could have sent him to charge, but he would just die to the warrior. So we're going to send him there. Hope he heals a bit and go for next turn. I'm not using Hunters Gatherers here. I'm not going to be using Berserk anytime soon. Let's try and thin out the deck a bit. Mobilize is not needed anymore because I have the Statue of Zeus, so I can burn that. And I'm trying to end this game soonish, so I probably don't want to start going for Divine Decrees. This can let me get construction for the fort. Now, in buildings... This is a building, not an improvement? What? Fort should be an improvement, I would have thought. That might be a mistake. I might have to rectify that. It's an improvement, can only be built in your territory, so I can't build it here to help defend myself, because that's my opponent's territory. Yeah, but forts are very powerful on attack and defense because they cause 50% less damage. However, generally you want to attack in your opponent's territory, not your own. So forts are actually kind of bad because if you don't want to be on the defense in the first place. And also your opponents can use forts against you. If you built a fort next to a city and your opponent took the fort, then they would be attacking your city, taking 50% less damage. You don't want to do that. So I'm going to burn this fort. There is definitely going to be some use for forts in the future. As a community, we typically don't. We haven't really found a good use for it yet. Going to buy some more luxuries. You can see the rest of Greece's stuff is gone now. I'll buy that last luxury, I suppose. I need 1 extra. I'm getting 2 stone per turn, so I can probably afford to get rid of 1 stone. There we go. And there we go. And let's end the turn here. My cities are growing very nicely here. This is going to be a very fast game because I managed to take out Greece so early. That scout had 5 strength. Wow, he really upgraded that scout. Boom. Oh, I got so many resources. This is going so great. The tutorial video. It's a good thing I'm ending it soon because, yeah, I've been going a lot here. So I'll just attack here. And yeah, as you've probably noticed, this game is literally... The combat in this game is literally like high unit wins It's a very simplified, but then there are, of course, the modifiers of terrain. And there's also one other modifier. Let's see if I can get that charge. I could spend 4 to... actually, there's a tactics in my hand. So, charge, you get 1 extra charge at the tactics tree. So you can have up to 2 charges in your deck, and I will absolutely take this other charge. And I am going to show you a way of being able to conquer this roam. Right now, 46%, this is a problem. I can't take roam with this. But I'm going to sacrifice my spearman here. I could build a swordsman, charge him over, but I want to show this off. So I'm going to sacrifice my spearman here. He's going to charge at this, at Rome here. And now Rome has 3 health. But this is now a flank attack. If you attack from multiple hexes, you get a flank attack and do double damage. Boom! I do 6 instead of 3, and I have taken Rome. So that is also why archers are so valuable, because you have an archer, he shoots into Rome from a side, and then your main guy attacks, your main melee guy attacks Rome and gets the flanking bonus. That is why archers are good in this game. I'll burn the axeman. I'm using warrior. I'm using swordsman now. Scout. Is there anything useful? Scouts can also be very funny because they can just go here. I'm now blocking this horse. You can no longer have this horse whilst my scout's over the top of it. Just a fun little troll move. Oh, I got another wonder, Temple of Diana, and I have the stone for it. So I will build it. This is another thing, right? Speaking of potential criticisms for this game, I've sent this to a friend. He really likes Civilization. He really likes deck builders. He loves Dune Imperium. He loves Clank. Those are some classic deck building board games. He loves both of those. Now, the thing is though, he really didn't like this game. I love this game. He really didn't like this game, and I was surprised, and we talked for a while, and large part of it comes down to this kind of was more of a puzzle game. This game kind of wasn't 4xy enough for him. So imagine you're Russia here, right, in this game. You have had a very low chance of being able to interact with your opponent, and I've just kind of won. Similarly, in multiplayer games, you can be doing your own thing, and then suddenly at the other end of the map, the game just ends at the other end of the map. You and your opponents won. They got to 100, and you had no idea. You had no idea they were there. You had no chance to interact with them. By the time you would have noticed, combat is slow, right? Takes you a turn to build the unit. Takes you a turn to move them out there. Takes you a turn to attack with it. You know, by the time you recognize the threat, it was too late. And that's another bit of a gotcha. In part, like, yeah, sometimes people will be at the other end of the map and you just lose. That even happens that even happens in Civ. Someone just rushes to a victory condition and you didn't stop them in time because you never saw it in time. But similarly, in this kind of game, a casual player will go into a match and they'll be on turn 11 and they'll have just lost and they'll be like, "What happened? I was only at like 50 points. What happened?" And it's because someone else just kind of steamrolled the lobby, and you didn't notice. So yeah, he complained that interaction between players was limited, and also that the wonders. He likes Slay the Spire particularly for its ability to have these crazy combos that do crazy things. The power level in this game is quite low. You've seen some of the strong power of the pyramid. Got me a whole bunch of stuff. Statue of Zeus mobilizes my units. Those are really cool, but like, there's not synergies between cards so much that it breaks the game or allows you to do crazy combos quite so much. He felt that this game feels a lot like competitive solitaire, is how he described it. Now, I really enjoy this game because of the puzzle aspect. Like, it feels like a bunch of people trying to optimize the situation. And he felt like this was a game where you don't interact with your opponents and you can just do the same build over and over and over again and you will win every time. it felt there wasn't very much replayability. I disagree, but yes, I really like puzzle games. This really does hit my puzzle aspect to it, and I actually really love the daily challenge in this kind of game. Daily challenge is let me just build some stuff. I'll build a swordsman over here. I'll start sending him up here. Rome will be taken next turn, and I'll probably just win the game. So let me just place stuff. Blah blah. Yeah, give this guy divine favor so he's not so dead, and he'll survive an axeman fight. Yeah. Okay. Food. Boop. And boop. That's so satisfying. So the daily challenges in these kinds of games are always like, hey, you've got a fixed set siege, so the same map, the same stuff happens every single time. And those kind of, I don't like them in games like Slay the Spire and stuff because they take too long on a run. Like, it takes you 45, 50 minutes, an hour and a half to do a run. Your daily challenge, you're only going to do it like twice. In this game, a daily challenge will last like 15 minutes, and then you'll spend forever trying to optimize it. Because the daily challenge will be things like, get a city to 10 population, defeat 2 enemy players, own 30 hexes, have 5 cities, that sort of thing. And with the same map happening every time, it adds a lot to it. So, okay, I'm going to take Rome here. My divine favor ran out, so it's only, you lost 3 strength and went down from 2 to 1. I'll claim this territory. I now gain 2 holy sites. Rome was so valuable. Oof, Rome was so valuable. So now I'm 106, so I will win the game at the end of this turn. A turn 9 win, very fast. But the AI was set to easy. It was set to medium, actually, but it was basically easy. The AI have difficulties, and I think there is a stupidness factor, I think, but like but the hardest, I think it's like on normal they don't defend very much or something. On hard mode they are normal AI, that they're unbound AIs, and then on hardest difficulty they start with logistics, which is a special tech. Yeah, actually I'll talk about that. One other issue, about the about this game and the haha moments. The end game, I'm showing off some early and mid game combats. End game combats are a lot more like what I just showed with the Zeus charge, get the axeman, take Sparta. So there is a tech called logistics down here, which is a barracks that lets units spawned on the barracks start mobilized. So it's a building, right? So I could build this anywhere in my territory. So I could build a barracks up here. And then the unit would start mobilized, and I could send it off to Moscow immediately. And then, of course, you've got stuff like the Vanguard promotion, right? So, like, you could spawn a unit and send it off immediately to Moscow. In fact, you could spawn multiple units, because I could spawn a unit from Medina, send it off to Moscow. I could spawn another guy from Athens, send it off to Moscow, both from barracks. And now in a multiplayer game where all the turns happen simultaneously, you can get into a situation where everyone's like, anyone can attack at any point from any direction at any time, and you've just got to defend or be the attacker. And someone who's not aware of and prepared for that will also just lose the game outright. Yeah, let me just go theology, Moscow de Gen, +2 victory points for each holy site. I have 3 holy sites. Let's just burn this card, burn this card, burn this card, get myself to Mosque of de Gen. Boom! I should now make quite a few. Yeah, 116. There we go. Cool. And yeah, honestly, I'm winning the game. I'm talking too much. Let's just end the turn. Let's start ending this video here. Let's go. Turn 9, turn 10 victory. How did I win that? I own 38 hexes. 78 hexes. I own 24 population. I had 34 points in wonders. I owned a lot of wonders. I owned a lot of territory. This pyramid catapulted me to craziness, along with that free axeman. Let's not forget, I got that axeman off of the hut at the start of the game, and I took Athens with it, and I went crazy. So there we go. I beat the other 3 AIs, and there we go. I got first place. And yeah. So there's also the daily challenge. I really like the daily challenge aspect to it because the winner is the person who completes it in the least amount of turns, and with the tiebreaker being the most amount of points. I have to complete the challenge once to look at the leaderboards, but I can tell you from a Discord bot that the current record holder for this daily challenge is Milan, who has managed to achieve getting 5 population in a city, getting 15 total population with at least one city having 5 population in 5 turns. I'm looking at the daily scores right now. A lot of people are coming in at 9 turns, 10 turns. This guy has managed to optimize it to 5 turns. And that sounds crazy, right? See how you can do it. Great optimization puzzles there. There is also in this game the weekly challenge, the weekly campaign, because there is a campaign, the Hajimon campaign. So the idea is that every week people will choose a civilization and they will try to get complete campaigns for their civilization to try and win. So choose your favorite civ and try to complete campaigns where you are fighting against the AI, doing a bunch of like daily challenge like stuff to try and win. The seeds are not set. The seeds are not set for that. It's not an optimization puzzle. It's a complete as many campaigns with the highest score, total score as possible. That is Hexarchy, and this was supposed to be like 20 minutes. There is a lot to talk about in Hexarchy. I really enjoyed this. My good friend that I thought would really enjoy this really didn't, because he did not like the solitary, puzzly aspect of the game. The idea that one person could just sit in the corner and just spam wonders and win the game, or could just take cities off of other people and win the game without you even noticing. The idea of because you can't see other people's scores. You can see who's first in the score. Let me just do that actually. So you can see who is first in score based on if they have a crown at the top. Let me just real quick try and find the ability to get a scout. I never actually showed the redraw. I might show the card redraw this time. Because you can mulligan your hand each turn as well. On top of everything else, you can mulligan your hand each turn. I was just happy with my hands every turn. We're just going to build a guy here. We're going to put a scout on him, and we are just going to end the turn so that the AIs actually spawn, and then move this scout around. There's one guy. Let me just move this to Cholwan over here. This is a bit bigger of a map. It looks like we're in the corner here, so we will move over to here, see if I can find someone. There we go. So you can't see the score of your opponents, but you can see the relative standing. So you can see here that I am in, of the 3 people I have seen, I am in last place, and Greece has the most points. So you can use that to get a vague sort of like idea, but you won't truly know who is winning. You only know who is winning. You won't truly know where you stand, and you don't know how much they're winning by. And then suddenly the game can end because they got to 100 points. That's just the nature of the game. Yeah. So he didn't like it for those reasons. I love the game because it's sort of like a puzzly sort of... I love the deck building aspects of it. This is what I was talking about with the mulligan. You can always just... If you don't like your hand, you can press the redraw button. And 1 time per turn, you'll get a new hand. So there we go. I really enjoyed it. There is a demo for this game. It contains the tutorial. Check it out. This has been me, Ghost99, aka No Brainer. Thank you so much for watching. Signing off.